Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. That would include also on the YouTube channel, the community post, as well as shorts. But of course, a lot of very interesting things are happening on YouTube with the algorithm. Lots of things are changing, so it's been very interesting. But I do appreciate your guys' likes, shares, and comments across all social media as you guys continue to help out the channel, as it is greatly appreciated.
We start things off from NBC News, but it's important here to note that as I was making the video short for Thursday, I was just bombarded with notifications about the fact that Donald Trump was not going to participate in another debate. Now, as of this recording, it is Thursday, September the 12th, and this was just breaking as of this recording at 5:24 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe that this is just maybe a reaction by Donald Trump for now, because the fact that he is not wanting to debate Kamala Harris is basically walking into a very similar ambush that was set up for him by ABC News. It's important to note here that Donald Trump is a businessman. He's a negotiator. He's a populist. He's really not a politician. He's a populist. He's a people person. He likes getting things done. He likes to be able to cooperate with people to get things done. He likes to create goals, achieve those goals, and he likes to include people in that goal-striving process. That's why he likes to negotiate with Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin and individuals that people think are off limits to negotiation, to be able to cooperate in a functional, comprehensive world, right? We live in a practical world. It's reality that we live in every single day. Now, it is people that complicate that reality because we're very complicated creatures, human beings. But I find it fascinating that, of course, the mainstream media is exploding right now. And as I said, I was, doing that short, and then just notifications just started popping up, because here it is from NBC, here it is from CBS, here it is from the Wall Street Journal, CNN, USA Today, BBC News, Axios, and then Forbes. And then we'll get into The Hill, too, in a moment. But this is exactly what the establishment uniparty is doing. They're a system. There is a methodology to their coordinated effort. And despite the fact that Kamala Harris had a really terrible performance on the CNN little episode they had there with her and Tim Walz, it didn't go well for her. But she stuck it out, and she did do the debate. And in the debate prep, it really consisted of her going to talking points about Donald Trump. In other words, it was an orange man bad style talking point debate. ABC softball pitched things to her, and then when she had the opportunity, she would inject and include talking points about Donald Trump. And here's what's fascinating about that. You guys know I made a 30-minute video this week on that, on Wednesday. I made a 30-minute video debunking nearly, if not everything, that they talked about on ABC. Debunked it. And what was interesting is as I was going through my archive of all my bookmarks, it was nearly chronologically in order to how Kamala Harris was bringing up this topic. So it is clear that she was coached on injecting these things in there to rattle Donald Trump, to attack his ego. Donald Trump is a negotiator. He's a man, he's a boardroom guy, right? He's used to, in most cases, getting his way, but not so much getting his way, but the fact that so many people work for him, he's accustomed to just simply directing things for people to do. Not like, I'm a boss, I'm going to tell you what to do, here I am, and pound his chest. Not in that, and not in that sense. He's accustomed to saying something and then someone doing it, right? So the thing about debate, or the things I don't personally like about debate, is that a genuine, true debate has rules. It has a structure. It has decorum. It has formality. It has a system. There are techniques to debates. And so they're never very really genuine. And I say that because most people who watch debates, particularly if they're political debates, aren't going to remember statistics and data and metrics and analysis and all these sorts of things that are important to the politician to mention. But when it comes to any sort of a public dialogue, it is always going to be about how you make people feel, right? People aren't going to necessarily remember data points. They're going to remember how they felt at a particular time. Like right now on TikTok, everybody's making little videos on Donald Trump's pet statement that he made in Ohio. Now, there's more information on that. But I just wanted to touch on this topic because this is what was breaking at the time. So Trump says he won't participate in more presidential debates with Harris. Since the debate, Trump has claimed that moderators from ABC were unfair and has been non-committal about whether he would participate in another matchup. Now, I think that phrasing is a little more accurate because I think he will. I think the Republicans, people, his supporters, are going to talk him back into doing a debate. Former President Donald Trump said Thursday that he will not participate in another future debate, in any future debates against Vice President Kamala Harris. There will be no debate, he said, in an all caps on his Truth Social website, before criticizing the vice president's debate performance. Asked by NBC News for clarification on Trump's remarks, Carolyn Levitt said in a statement, "You heard the man." So his remarks come just 2 days after he and Harris met in Philadelphia for a primetime debate sponsored by ABC News. An ambush by ABC News, to be more specific. Now, of course, I showed you all those particular headlines across the board. So from the Hill, Trump says he won't do another debate. So just listen into this.
Well, so given how this went, what are the chances that Trump accepts a second debate challenge? And what type of pressure do you think he's facing from inside the party to do another debate or to not do another debate, given that many Republicans weren't happy with how he did?
Yeah, so right now, Trump has been back and forth on his thinking over if he would do one. Of course, he came out of the ABC debate saying that he won the debate and criticizing heavily ABC, saying that the moderators weren't fair to him. And so those kinds of indications maybe tell us that he wouldn't want to do a second debate, but that could change any day on what his thinking is on it. But when we've been talking to Republicans over if they think he should do a second debate, a lot of them have encouraged him to do so because they think that he can stay on message and if given another shot, that they want him to talk about things like the economy and talk about immigration and talk about, Vice President Harris changing her opinion on hot button issues like fracking.
And I agree 100%. Now, the thing about it is you have to remember the mindset of Donald Trump. You have to go back to the 80s. I think it was in the 80s when he wrote Art of the Deal. This is a guy who's accustomed to having conversations with people to achieve goals and directions and purpose, to get things done, accomplishments, substance, practicality, goal-oriented things. So he's got a different mindset than a cold, calculating, evil, psychotic, absurd politician in most cases, not every one of them. But when it comes to Democrats, they want to win, and they will do anything to win. So they aren't going to be burdened by the decorums and formalities, ethics, and these sorts of things. We see that already in the lawfare. Look at the lawfare that they're doing right now. This is part of the game. The game is we push the line as far as we can to get that emotional reaction from people. Then we'll sit back, watch SCOTUS have to inject themselves into it by saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then other legal procedures and processes have to take place to illustrate the fact that what they're doing to Donald Trump is not entirely legal in the sense of what they're trying to achieve, as it were. And so, in other words, they're engaged in prosecutorial misconduct. And, of course, no one's going to call them out because Merchan and Engoron's attitude, or even Alvin Bragg's or Letitia James or even Fonnie Willis, their attitude is we're going to keep pushing the line until someone says something. And even if someone says something, we're going to be like, what are you going to do about it? Right? And that's the attitude by the whole entire Democrat system and the establishment. And what we saw when it came to social media, when it comes to censoring conservative talk or independents or middle of the road or Green Party or all these people that were not on the narrative talking points of the establishment uniparty or the Democrats, they wanted to shut everyone down. Remember, these are the groups of people that removed a sitting president from a social media platform, from Twitter, when he hadn't even violated anything in relation to Twitter itself. They simply went off the idea and concept that was, basically dictated to them by the Democrats, and that was that Donald Trump incited a riot in January 6th. And we've already seen a million times, you see me show it constantly, that the Senate acquitted Donald Trump of that in the second impeachment. But of course, it doesn't matter because the Democrats work from a position that they need to get an emotional knee-jerk reaction from people so that they can be in control. It's a typical Hegelian dialectic by the Democrats. We create a problem, we show you a problem, we talk about a problem, we generate the problem, and then we're the ones who are going to fix it because we're the ones who recognize the problem, mainly because they're the ones who created it. And so when Kamala Harris was debating Donald Trump, all she had to do was get under his skin. All she had to do was take petty pop shots at his ego to get him rattled. For example, I'll give you an example of that, where she was talking about people walk away from your rallies when you're doing a rally. See, that's a personal dig. Who is out there buying groceries, paying for gas, having to go to work, trying to take care of their expenses? Who out there who does that is concerned about whether people leave a rally? So Donald Trump could have responded by saying something to the effect of, Madam Vice President, I think we should talk about the concerns of the people. We should be talking about things that people are concerned about. See, that's a technique. That's a technique right there. It's not difficult. It's not complicated. What you do is you redirect the questioning back to her because she's off topic. She's trying to go off topic. And so what you do is you rein her in and get her back on topic because she's going for petty points while you should be trying to bring all of this onto her. Because don't you find it fascinating how she's like, one, she's pretending that she's not part of the Joe Biden administration, but yet in her speech, she says, we did this, we did that, while still trying to separate herself from Joe Biden. So all Trump had to have done, now I'm not claiming to be an expert in all this, I'm just as a observer of language and interaction and the absurdity of debate, which is why I don't like it. It's not that difficult to make it through something like this, because anytime they try to put you into a corner, you can redirect it back to the individual, especially when she makes those petty little statements like that. But as you saw, she did go on so many of the talking points, and that's what's concerning to Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't like to be talked to in that manner, or talked down to, or no one really does. No one wants to be around people that are condescending. So I think he probably will continue to do the debate, but I welcome your guys' thoughts and comments down below, what your thoughts were on the debate itself, because I think that what Trump was trying to achieve, he did, but the performance that Kamala Harris put on was very typical of a prosecutor, and that is to draw the attention, get that emotional response from people so that people will remember those particular things, because what everyone's covering right now on TikTok is the whole pet thing, which has nothing to do with grocery prices, gas prices, international affairs, the important things, in life. Because like I said, people are just going to remember how they feel when they see these debates. But that's what I have for you guys this Friday.